Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Radha Madhava Ju Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnu Paraparamahansa Parivrajakachacha Ashtottara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Pratishta Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayananta Kota Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shari Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Simai Podama Ki Jai Gangamai Ki Jai Chamunamai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Shaligram Jaldan Mahotsav Ki Shri Abhiram Thakur Tirupal Mahotsav Titi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Jai Nitai Go Premanandi Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 10, text number 37. The deliverance of the Jamala Arjuna trees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Anujanihi. Now, Bhumams Tavanuchara Kinkaro Darshanam Now Bhagavata Risher Ashid Anugrahat Anujanihi Na Bhumams Tavanachura Kinkaro Dashanam no Bhagavata Rishirashid Anugrahat Anujanihi Naubhamams Tavanuchara kinkadro darshanam no bhagavata rishirashed anugrahat. Anujanihi no bhumams tavanuchara kinkaro darshanam no bhagavata rishirashid anugrahat. Anujanihi no bhumam tavanacharu kinkaro darshanam no bhagavata rishirashidanugrahat. Anugani bhumam tavanacharu kinkaro darshanam no bhagavata rishirashidanugrahat. Anujanihi. May we have permission. Now, we, Bhumam, a greatest universal form, Tava Anuchara Kinkaro, being because of being a servant of your most confidential devotee, Narad Muni. Darshanam, to see personally, now, of us, Bhagavata, of your Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rishi, O great Saint Narada, Asid, there was in the form of a curse, Anugrahat, from the mercy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Supreme Form, we are always servants of your servants, especially of Narada Muni. Now give us permission to leave for our home. It is by the grace and mercy of Narada Muni that we have been able to see you face to face. Please repeat. O Supreme Form, we are always servants of your Lordship. Guys, we're always servants of the servants, especially of Narada Muni. Now give us permission to leave for our home. It is by the grace and mercy of Narada Muni that we have been able to see you face to face. Purport. Unless delivered or blessed by a devotee, one cannot realize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Manushaman sahasreshu kaschit yati siddhai. According to the verse of Bhagavad Gita 7.3, there are so many siddhas or yogis who cannot understand Krishna. Instead, they misunderstand him. But if one takes shelter of a devotee descending from the Parampara system of Narada, Swayambhu Narad Shambho, one can understand who is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, many pseudo-incarnations are advertised simply for exhibiting some magical performance. Except for persons who are the servants of Narada and other servants of Krishna, no one can understand who is God and who is not. This is confirmed by Narottama Das Thakur, Chadiya Vaishnava Shaiva Nishtara Piechi Keba. No one is delivered from the material conception of life unless favored by a Vaishnava. Others can never understand, neither by speculation nor by any other bodily or mental gymnastics. Om Agyantim Dandasi Janan Janan Shalakya Takshuram Meditam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadha Shiva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare. So they're reading a prayer from Jayapataka Maharaj. I don't know if you've read that prayer. They started this morning in the temple, and it's a prayer about the coronavirus and how due to our own sinful activities we are suffering in this material world. We're getting the reactions from our activities, sinful activities. And anyway, it's a prayer for all those selfless workers, the nurses and doctors, etc. So we're often hearing this. We've been practicing Krishna consciousness, but we think to ourselves, I'm not making much advancement, not becoming very pure. So always we ask these questions: how do we become pure? How do we become humble? How we can become merciful? It's always how we can do it, because we're feeling sometimes insignificant. And but here is the answer to all these questions here. They are praying to Narad Muni, please give us permission to leave for our home. Now he's got the permission. Got the permission. This is what we need. We need the permission or the sanction or the order of the Guru. And then Jayapataka Maharaj wrote to Prabhupada one time. He said he read in the Bhagavatam that one king, I can't remember the name of the king, he has to suffer 60% of the sufferings of the citizens. That's the king's responsibility. He's got to take 60% of their reactions, their karmas and things like that. So Jayapataka Maharaj said, he wrote to Prabhupada, and he said, I'm the president here in Mayapur. That means I'm responsible for all the devotees here. Do I also have to suffer 60% reaction? Prabhupada said, why only 60? Why only 60? So it's indicating that 100. So we feel like incapable by ourselves. We often hear these questions, I don't, knowledge, I'm not strong enough, I feel weak in devotional service. So how can I do this? How can I become strong? How can I get rid of calm, growth, love, more, all these things? So it's like that. Although we are feeling capable, which we are incapable in this material world, we're 1/10,000th size the tip of the hair. Prabhupada said, if you realize that, you would definitely be humble. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was realizing that I'm 1/10,000th size the tip of a hair. Therefore, he could pray feelingly. Ai Nanda Tuna Jikinkaram, son of Nanda Maharaj, I'm your eternal servant. Somehow or another, I fall into this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up. Place me as an atom of dust at your lotus feet. He said, you will not become humble if you realize your actual size in the material world, because we are much lower than even a speck of dust. Soul is very, very fine. So we feel incapable of controlling our minds and senses, but one of the secrets is that when you get the order from the spiritual master, when he tells you to do something, the potency to execute the order is within the order itself. This is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So you may get it seems like an impossible task to perform devotional service. Go and preach in China. Impossible task. But because the order of the Guru has been there, or the order of the leader has been there, then that has the potency. That's the given order. Then it becomes possible. Because along with that order comes the potency to execute the order. In other words, it's all by the mercy of Guru ultimately. Everything is the mercy. We do as much as we can. We do our little bit as best we can. We try to follow everything as best we can. We do it, but it's not dependent on all of our endeavors. Prabhupada said, you do it, you do your bhakti, but the finishing touch, but Guru's mercy is the finishing touch. We need that little drop of mercy. That's his recommendation. But we're dependent on that. So the Guru's mercy is the finishing touch. But we cannot be lax in our own devotion and say, oh, well, Guru's going to give me mercy. No, we have to show our sincerity. So that they just read the prayer out. No, I thought that coincides with this. So that's the important thing in this verse. Ultimately, they were able to see. They had to follow Narad's order. There was no question. They were cursed to stand as trees, but they realized it as a blessing, because within that order to become trees, they saw Krishna face to face. Hare Krishna. So today is also Abhiram Thakur. Abhiram Thakur is one of the Dwadasha Gopalas, or the 12 friends of Nityananda Prabhu. He has intimate associates, 12 intimate associates in Shakya Ras. So Abhiram Thakur, he was one of the 12 Gopalas. Abhiram is also known as Abhiram Gopal, and also he's known as Ramadas. So he was born he was from Kenal Krishnanagar, a place in Hooghly district, on the way by Calcutta, just before Calcutta. He was a kind of a mystic, and he went to Kanal Krishnanagar, and where he sat down, then later on he had a dream, and Gopinath appeared to him and said, I'm buried here, where you are sitting. So please dig me up and worship me. So then they were digging, and they found the deity of Gopinath was there. And also, simultaneously, they made a kunda there. And it said the waters were always sweet of that pond. Everyone would go there and taste the water. And Abhiram Thakur, he was a great musician, he was a great singer, he was a great logician, he was learned in all aspects. And he was something like an abadut. He had a whip named the Jai Mangala whip. And he used to, if he whipped anyone, they would get love of Godhead. And one day Srinivasacharya came to see him, and he whipped him once, twice, and he fell on the floor. And he whipped him, and then Malini, his wife, had to stop him. No, he said, he's just an infant, he's just a little boy. He cannot take so much mercy coming from your whip. He also had a flute. He was in the mood of Balaram, because he's one of the boyfriends of it. So he was in the mood of Balaram, but in the mood of Krishna. And he was standing in Tribangi, And he said, I want a flute. He was looking around for a flute. He couldn't find one. So there's one big, I don't know if it's just a branch. I don't know if it was a bamboo or not. But sometimes you can get the really big bamboos. And he said this tree was 16 knots, sections. It'd take 30 men to lift it up. Other places said it'd take 100 men to lift it up. But he lifted up this huge, he made it into a flute. And he stood in his tree bhangi form for hours on end, just with his great big flute. Nobody else could lift it. So, one day, Krishna and Balaram and their friends, they were playing hide and seek. You run away and hide, and the others has got to come and find you. So hide and seek. And so they said, Krishna said, let's go down to Nadia, Mayapur, and we can play down, we can perform our pastime in Nadia. So everybody, yeah, let's go to Mayapur. So they all came here, and they took on the cowboy forms, the small boys. And they were playing, and after some time they said, where is Abhiram? Sriram, he's known as Sriram in Krishna Leela. Where's Sriram? Oh, we forgot to, he was hiding, we forgot to tell him. We were playing our game, but we didn't see him, he was in hiding, so we thought, so we forgot to tell him. We were all going down to Nadia to perform our pastime. So Krishna says, Balaram, you go and get him. So Balaram, in the form of Nityananda, he went, and then he found him in Vrindavan, and he was hiding in a cave. And he said, what are you doing here? Come on, we all went down to Nadia. Why didn't you come? He said, why didn't nobody come and get me? He was very angry, and he was, that's okay, anyway, you come. No, I'm not coming. He said, anyway, how are you why you say you're Balaram? You're only a little small. In the, he said, no, this is Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, everything is small, becomes small. But I'm Balaram. But now this is my new form we're playing in Navadvip. So, he said, anyway, I'm not going to come. So Balaram or Nityananda was pleading with him, please come, it won't be the same without you, please, Krishna wants you to come. Okay, I'll come, but he was a bit angry. So he always said that he was very feisty, they say, he could get angry very easily, and so he came with that mood. He said, I'm not going to go personally, but I'll expand, I come in a different, as Sri Ram, Abhiram. So he came as incarnated as one of the cowboys. And then he went to join all the devotees. He used to live with Bir Chandra most of the time. Bir Chandra was Nityananda's son. Gadata Das, Abhiram, Bir Chandra, Janabi, they all lived that area, just before Calcutta. And they had they would all associate together. It's a very, very nice place if you ever get an opportunity to go on Gaura-mandala Bhumi with Gauranga Prem or someone who knows that. So many Vaishnavas' houses are there and living there. You can really feel it that it's really old, ancient Vaishnava. And the vibration there is really, really good. And there's so many Vaishnavas, so many famous deities all in that area. So he would, he had that association. So he had many. So anyway, Nityananda Balaram, he said, if you don't believe me that I'm Balaram, if you don't believe I'm Balaram, you start running as fast as you can, because there's only one person who could catch you in running, and that was Balaram. So you start running, and if I can catch you, in a couple of paces, 10 paces, then I'll accept your Balaram. So immediately he started running, but Nityananda, immediately he caught him. Well, okay, I believe now you're Balaram. But anyway, I'll come down and as another incarnation. So Abhiram was also celebrated he had the Jai Mangala whip. So Abhiram, he had some kind of city that he would pay his obeisances to people or newborn babies, and if they weren't bona fide, they would immediately die. So even Nityananda Prabhu's son was born, and he immediately paid his obeisances to it, and the baby immediately died. But before that, and after that, 7 other babies also. So there was 8. It's an interesting number. Sachimata, I think she had 8 children. Devaki had 8 children. So he went to see Raghunandan Thakur at Srikanda, because he had heard he was very favoured. He was Pindadan, eating the laddu lila. So Raghunandan Thakur, he was the son of Mukunda. Mukunda is the incarnation of Vrindadevi. And anyway, he performed that pastime of eating the laddu. He told him to eat. So Abhiram Thakur went to see him, and he got to the village, Srikand, and Mukunda, his father, was, no, he's not here, he left, he went. Nobody, they didn't want to tell him where he was, because if he pays his obeisances, their children may die. No, he left the village, he's not here now. So then Abhiram left, and then after some time, some boys were there playing. They said, Abhiram came to see you, but he couldn't see you anywhere. He said, oh really, where is he? He's left, he's gone, next village. So he went running up to meet him. Abhiram, he went running up, and then he met Raghunandana. He was a small boy, and he paid his obeisances. Nothing happened, so they embraced, and they were dancing like madmen. And he said that the ankle bell of Raghunandan, because of the ecstatic dancing, it flew off his foot when they were dancing, went about 4 kilometers away. There's a place there. What's the name of that place? Anyway, there was one devotee that used to do his bhajan there. That ankle bell landed a few kilometers away. Nupur Kund, there's a pond there now. Yeah, gone away to Katwa. So he had a wife, his name is Malini Devi. He was walking, this Malini, she was a Bondasi, they call, a forest nymph. And she was living in the tree there with some companions. And there was one person he was hiring the land from the landowner. So there's another person there who was a little bit jealous. He said, and he told him, he said, you've got a bondasi, what do they call it, a wood fairy, forest fairy, if you believe in fairies. But and because of her presence there, everything is becoming opulent, the fruits and flowers and natural things. So you should take it. That's your land, so you should be actually getting. So the landowner said, come and live in my house. She said, no, I'll stay here with my friends. So he beckoned her. She said, okay, then I'll come. You send the palanquin for me, and I just bring me sandesh. I'll just take sandesh every day. You can. So she came to his area, and she lived in that area. Anyway, one time she was in the taking bath in the river there, and then Nityananda Prabhu and Abhiram were on the other side of the river, on the other side of the bank. So they were walking, and Nityananda Prabhu, he said, Abhiram, he said, you should get married. So then Abhiram said, Malini, across the river. She jumped in the river and started going across, and all of her friends, oh, what's happening? She's gone in the river, it's very deep, she doesn't know swim properly, very deep. But she got to the other side, and so then all the other villagers came and they said, hey, what is this? She was living there, why have you're forcibly taking this? I gave her some land, she's living there. And Abhiram said, you see that tree, fallen tree, pick it up. And he went there, he couldn't even move it. He said, how can I move that? It's impossible. So then Abhiram said, Malini, pick it up. She went there and she picked up this huge tree trunk. They realized, okay, she was his eternal potency. So then, so he was married to Malini, as eternal consort of Abhiram. Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a daughter first through Vasudha and Janabi were his two wives, and Vasudeva had children. So the first child was a daughter, and her name was Gangadasi. She was actually born on Ganga Puja Day, and she's actually the origin of Ganga in the spiritual world. And he paid his obeisances. He heard Nityananda has given another child, so he went to pay his obeisances. Everyone was scared. But he paid his obeisances and nothing happened. The child was all right. He said, this time I have not been deceived. This is bona fide child. So he also, then they had a son, Nityananda had a son, Birchandra, who was an incarnation of Mahavishnu. And also he paid his obeisance to Birchandra. He survived also the glancing of the prayers of Abhiram Thakur. Yeah, so he when the baby girl was born, she wasn't taking any milk from her mother. So everyone was in anxiety, what's going to happen? The child, he doesn't take milk. So then Nityananda, he indicated to Janavi Devi that you give her a Krishna name. So Janavi Devi went and she gave Hare Krishna, or some Krishna's mantra in her ears. And then she became, she took the milk. Immediately she started drinking milk. Maybe the example is that without getting initiation with Krishna's name, life's not worth living. So for the baby, milk is life. So what's the use of remaining alive without mantra? So first get mantra. So she got Krishna's mantra. Yeah. And then Abhiram Thakur wrote a very famous Ashtakam glorifying Janavi Gangadasi. And after every refrain, after every poem, after every what is it? Anyway, on every refrain, he addressed that, oh Gangadasi, beautiful daughter of Lord Nityananda, please be proper to us, please propitiate us, to us, be merciful upon us. You are the internal potency. Be merciful to us. Very nice prayers, 11 prayers. In which also he reveals that she is the origin of Ganga, and her name in the spiritual world is Prema Vara Manjari, and she's the actual source of Ganga in Goloka, as the intimate servant of Radha and Krishna there. Abhiram also would pay obeisances to deities, and if the deity wasn't a bona fide deity, the deity would break and turn into powder, into dust. So there's one place here north from here, I can't remember the name of the place, but there's the deity of Gopinath, and Abhiram came, and everyone in the village was scared, who was coming, he's going to pay obeisances to Gopinath. So Abhiram came, and Gopinath he heard that Abhiram is coming. He was scared also, so Gopinath, he was shaking, what's going to happen? But he came and paid his obeisances to Gopinath. But Gopinath survived his obeisances. So he said, Gopinath said, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I was scared out of my life. I used to come, I would break into pieces. And Abhiram, he said to Gopinath, no, he said, now, because you were there when I was approaching you, everybody saw you were sweating. The sweat was falling down. So now everybody has to believe, because they saw it with their own eyes. If I didn't sweat it, they may not have believed that you were a bona fide deity. But now they've seen you sweating, then they have to accept you as being bona fide. What? Gopinath? I can't remember. It's not. Yeah. Go on Mandala Bhumi. I've been there a couple of times. That whole area there is really, really potent. The Canal Krishna Nagar is near Hooghly, the Hooghly district. That's where he used to stay and worship his deity Gopinath. Hare Krishna. It's also Tulsi Shalagram. Tulsi Shalagram Jaldan. Tulsi Shalagram Jaldan. I'm not sure. According to the desire of Nityananda Prabhu, he married the descendants of the disciples of Abhiram Thakur are still living within the districts of Hooghly and Bankura at the Kenai Krishna Nagar and Vishnupur. The relatives are scattered around. The disappearance is on the 7th day of the dark fortnight. No, it doesn't say. Tulsi Shalagram Jaldan. Srila Prabhupada said we can observe this festival of the Jaldan. It means Jaldan, we're dripping water on Shalagram and also on Tulsi Devi. We fix a pot above with a hole in it so it drips slowly. Because now this month, today is a new month, it's called Vaishak. It's a very, very good month for doing austerities, penances. Do some extra devotional service for this whole month, you will feel the benefit, transcendental benefit. It's called Kal Vaishaki. Kal means death because you get these very strong winds suddenly come up, all of a sudden. And they blow the trees down. The rain comes, people go under the trees to get shelter from the rain, but then the wind, it blows the tree down. They die. So it's called Kal Vaishaki because if you're out in the storm, you could easily get killed by the fallen trees. But very, very auspicious month and very good for doing some extra devotional service for the month. Like you have Damodar, you have to offer lamps especially. You do something. Prabhupada mentions that it's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that where they have a facility, proper facility, they should worship the Shalagram Shila. We would like to introduce the worship of Shalagram Shila now in ISKCON. So where they have facility, they can install that. So Prabhupada gave us that instruction and he told the managers of Mayapur that you can start the worship of Shalagram Shila here in Sridham Mayapur. So this was the first temple in ISKCON, public temple in ISKCON that was worshipping the Shalagram. So Srila Prabhupada, he told Jaipataka Maharaj and Bhavananda, you should start the worship of Shalagram Shila. And so we went to Prabhupada's room in the Lotus building. Jaipataka Maharaj got a Shalagram. Prabhupada told him, get a Shalagram from some friend or something like that. So then they got a Shalagram. And we went to Prabhupada's room. They said, called me up there, you come, we're going to show Prabhupada the Shalagram. So Prabhupada saw it, he touched to his head. And I don't think Prabhupada knew we were coming. We just went in his room. But then Prabhupada, he started to do a little puja there. He didn't have any paraphernalia. We didn't bring anything. We just had a shalagram. And Jayapataka Maharaj had a little bit of some silk cloth. A couple of pieces like this that you can make a charter with. Just make it in Shantipur for the shalagram. But otherwise, I don't think Prabhupada even knew we were coming. So we went in his room, and Jayapataka Maharaj said, I've got the shalagram, Srila Prabhupada. Oh, pretty good. And then he started to do a little bit of puja. And he said the brahmanas, they take the shalagram, they carry it in a little box around the neck or a little bag or something. And then the sadhus, brahmanas, they go to one holy place, then they open up the box and just bring the shalagram out, and then they give mantras, different mantras. And then after that, they put him back to sleep again, then put him in the box, then they go walk out another holy place, they open up the box, give mantra again give sleeping. He said, this is shalagram puja, mantra, sleeping, mantras. And he started laughing. And he had his tilak container there. So he had Archman cup with water, and he made some tilak. And in his desk was a box of matches, so he got a matchstick. And he made the tilak, and he made a little face on the shalagram. He put little eyes, little nose, little M-shaped mouth, seagull-shaped mouth, and some gopi dots. He said, you do like this, but you do it nicely, of course. Of course, Prabhupada was very nice. And then Prabhupada took off his mala, his garland, and he put it around the shalagram. And then he's talking, and he told me at that time, he says, during this month, you can offer the jaldan, you can drip water on the shalagram tulsi, because it's very hot season now, it'll begin, very hot, and Krishna keeps cool by dropping water. It's hot, so then after that you'll offer chandan all over the body for keeping Krishna cool. So this is the anyway, that's right, he said, he gave me a tip. This was, I think, because he was from Vrindavan, he lived in Vrindavan a long time. And Vrindavan gets very, very hot, very, very hot, and everything dries up. So he said you can pick the tulsi, and you can pick tulsi in the morning, after the sun rises. And you have a wet cloth, you fold it over and have a wet cloth, then you put the tulsi leaves on that top of that wet cloth, then you have another wet cloth, and you put that on top of that one. He said, like this, tulsi all day will stay fresh. When you want tulsi, you just take, otherwise they'll all dry up like that because they're too hot. Anyway, he was talking like that, and suddenly that garland that was on the shalagram, it fell down like that. And Prabhupada said, did you see? Did you see? You see? He said, you know that story of Krishnadas Kaviraj? He went to see Madan Mohanji for his blessings. In Chaitatamrita, to write Chaitatamrita, and the garland fell off. Did you know that story? He said, you see? It means he's accepting my service. So, anyway, we started the worship of the shalagrams. And there were a couple of other shalagrams I had at that time, people had given. So Bhavananda said, you can start worship of the shalagram now. So we started doing the worship, and of course it was all brand new for us, and we were all Western devotees at that time. There was hardly any Indians were coming forward in Mayapur. So it's all mostly Westerners. So nobody knew what shalagram was. What is that? black stone there? Is it Jagannath? I said, I guess he's Jagannath. He looks like the Lord of the Universe. He's got white eyes and black. I don't know. And then some people, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Krishna Shila. It's a Krishna Shila. Another person comes, it's Narayana Shila. I was completely bewildered. So I went to Prabhupada's room and I asked him, Srila Prabhupada, can I ask you a question? He said, yes. I said, some people say this shalagram is Krishna and some people say it's Narayana. Prabhupada looked at me and said, forget some say. Forget some say. But heavy. And I bowed my way out. I didn't pursue it anymore. Because the tone he said it in. I think he was referring to, the devotees would say, they say Prabhupada, they say, what is that they say? They say, he says, what is that? What is the evidence? What is the praman? What is the proof? Where is the reference? They say it. I think he said it in that mood, because he would often, what they say? Some say, forget some say. So I bowed my way out and I left. And then 2 days later, he sent me a message down to me. And he said, tell the pujari that he should offer a flute to the shalagram. Should offer bamsi. So he wanted us to worship as Krishna. So generally this is the worship of Krishna. The shalagram is very, very important, especially for the brahmanas. Every household they worship the shalagram Shila. The smarter brahmins, their wives, they won't worship the Shila, they don't touch the Shila. They can touch the other deities, the Devi deities, and in the household of the Brihastas, they worship Devi and everyone as well, along with the shalagram. But only the brahmanas will worship the shalagram, and they think without shalagram on the altar anywhere, then nothing's going to be accepted. I remember when we were invited to give the what's that big khichdi feast we have at Shantipur? Shantipur festival, feeding all the one who takes shak on this gets love of Godhead, Mahaprabhu said. So have a feast. So the first time that the old Mahantri is not living now, he was over 100 years old. He gave that day to ISKCON. He said, you can have that. We used to do this festival feeding, but now we have no funds. We stopped it. But if ISKCON likes, they can take it over and it can be ISKCON Day. You can do, and you can distribute prasadam to all the thousands of people. And he's telling Jayapataka, so it can be your ISKCON Day. He said, can we can make the offering also and worship? Yes. He was very, very mellow, old Vaishnava, because he was over 100 years old. So, but the other younger brahmanas there, they were complete anxiety. We bought some prasad from Mayapur. We had cream cakes. They'd never seen cream cake before. What is it? What's on top? What's that white thing? Any eggs? Is that egg in there? No, it's nothing. I gave a box of saffron. I said, you can use this for the deities. What is it? Is it made from an animal? They didn't even know what it was, because it's expensive. It's from an animal? No, it's good. You can use it. Puja, you can cook with it also. No, the others, they were really, really shaky. And so I said, we'll make the offering now. Offer all the food, all the prasadam for distribution. And the deities were there. They had a special plate. So I went to make the offering, and they were like this. They were looking at everything I was doing, and put your back straight. Okay. They were looking, I did a little bit and I rang a bell and, is that all? Is that all you do? I said, well, that's all our Guru Maharaj taught us to do like this, making an offering. So anyway, they were in complete anxiety. The foreigner coming and worshipping the shalagram. They say it's the original shalagram from Advaita, where he called them. There's many, many places they claim the original. But anyway, they're in complete anxiety, seeing. I don't blame them. They're maintaining their culture. And I'm coming from a Malacha there, so I don't blame them for. But anyway, I made the offering, and then after the offering, I came back in to complete the ritual, and the shalagram was gone. They had taken the shalagram off the altar there. No, I don't blame them, but just how they were smart. Now every year I send the Brahmana who was born in a Brahmana family. You go and do the puja. And otherwise they were in anxiety then. Yeah. So yeah, that's right. So the main puja is done to the Shalagram Shila. And the ideal worship, or complete worship, is that you have the Shalagram Shila and you chant the Purusha Shukta mantras, famous mantras, 16 mantras. So you chant one mantra, Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasras Pat Sarbhuming Vishato Vachatishata Shangulam. Then you offer the upachara, the item, Idong Ashanam. Then the next Purusha Shukta mantra, Om Etavanasya Mahima Tujayamscha Purushaha Padosh Vishwabhutani Tripadasya Mritandivi Etapadyam, offering water for washing the feet. Like that. Then Archmaniam, then one mantra, then Agya, then one mantra, then Madhupaka, then one mantra, then like that. One mantra, so 16 mantras and 16 upacharas. Then the Vastram Upata, Tilak, Ganda, Pushpa, Dup, Deep, Naividyam, 16 items. So that's a standard worship, a complete worship. And most temples in India, they will have that standard. Radha Kantra in Gumbira, they have that. I asked many people, the pujaris there, how do you worship? Yeah, we worship according to the shalagram, according to the 16 upacharas. That's the main worship goes there. And the other deities, they dress, but the main pujas. So that's an ideal worship. Nobody will complain if you do that, because that's kind of a standard. Offering the 16 mantras of the Purusha Shukta to the with the 16, offering 16 items with each mantra. So it's a very famous method of process of worshipping, and everybody does it. Radha Govind. Yeah, most of those famous temples. Even Radha Raman, but that's on festival times. They will do the same kind of worship. Same type of standard. No, according to Jayapataka Maharaj, Shalagram, you worship him with the Purusha Shukta mantra, Govardhan. You worship according to the principles of Ragmarg. You worship according to the principles of Ragmarg, or the spontaneous devotional service. Shalagram is the Pancharachaki mantra. So that mantra is chanted in Pancharachaki Vidhi. So deity worship comes under the Pancharachaki Vidhi. We worship according to Pancharachaki. But Govardhan is worshipped according to spontaneity. So People have them at their home. A lot of people are worshipping in temple, even we have here. But in 1972, Pangajangri came to visit me. I told him to go to Vrindavan, it's Krishna's birthplace. So he went to Vrindavan. He came back. He bought some Govardhan Shilas. He said there was a big mountain there, and I just picked up some souvenir rocks, because we would do that sometimes. They're just rocks. So then Chutananda was there. Oh, I always wanted to worship Govardhan. So we asked Prabhupada. So we wrote to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, I think Palika wrote Bhavananda's wife. Prabhupada said, immediately take the Govardhan back to Govardhan Hill. That was his opinion. And then there's another quote. Then some devotee asked, in America, he asked Prabhupada, we worship the Govardhan? And Prabhupada said, when I come there, I will see. So when he came to the temple, then he said, no, you should not worship. So I don't know of any Govardhan Shila that was being worshipped on the altar during Prabhupada's presence. After he left, they all came, and now personally, I think it's a little bit wacky the way all this puja is going on. Bit wacky. It's wacky. Wacky means you have Govardhan, you put eyes on him, these eyes are looking, this one is Radharani because it's a lighter color, this one is Krishna, and you put the eyes and they're looking at each other like that, and they're all sentiments of Ragmarg. Raghunath Das Goswami, he directly saw the son of Nanda Maharaj. Chaitanya Maharaj, when he sees Govardhan, he sees directly the son of Nanda Maharaj. Yeah, he said the same thing. He sees as the son of Nanda Maharaj. And now they're saying this one is golden, so this is Radharani. This Govardhan is Radharani, this Govardhan is Krishna. And there's another one, white one, that Balaram Govardhan. And when Radharani and Krishna see the white footprints, they avoid that situation because Radha and Krishna shouldn't be together. And when Balaram sees Radharani's and golden footprints, he goes the other way. He doesn't want to bump into Radha and Krishna. It's all a little bit wacky. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had his disciples, his Grihastha disciples, can worship at home, but not on the temple. Very big. I don't know why Bhavananda got that, because he got the letter from Prabhupada, but then when they moved to this temple, Big Radha Madhava, Astashaki, and Bhavananda said, we want a big Govardhan Hill. So Omkara Prabhu and Bhaktivedanta Purna Swami, they went to Govardhan and they brought that big Govardhan back. But anyway, the Shaligram Puja is the main worship. Radha Madhava's worship is going on to Janardhan. And Govardhan, he just gets a simple bath and change the dress. But the Purusha Shukta mantra and 16 upachars are offered to Janardhan Shalagram Shila, who's sitting in front of Radha Madhava. He's accepting that worship. Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the process. They do the Manasa Puja. Just before the Ija, the actual deity worship itself, they do a Manasa Puja. That kind of reinforces your understanding that the deity is not a stone or metal. So you do that Manasa Puja, is like a preparation just before you do the Ija, or the direct worship of the deity. So you're doing all the different purifications, from waking up, from putting on clean cloth, going to Mangalarti, etc. Clean. Everything's becoming purified. So ultimately, when you bring the deity, he's not just another piece of paraphernalia, because he seems to be made of metal or wood or stone, but he's not. So that all that purification from waking up in the morning is to help us to understand that is Krishna himself. It's not a statue. It's directly Krishna. So that Manasa Puja, it's just the final preparation before you actually do the worship. So there's and there's some Shalagram Shilas on the Sringadev altar. There's one big one in the center, you can see. There's 108 Shalagram Shilas there, around the feet of Lord Nrsimhadev. And he has a garland. If you look, Ram Nrsimhadev. He has 108 Shalagrams all around him, around that base. And then he has a garland. You can see through it. There's like a wire mesh garland, silver. And there's another 108 garland, Shalagram Shilas in there as a garland is offered. No. If you're worshipping, no. Why it would be dangerous? If you're sincere, the devotees are sincere. Mostly that fear aspect comes in the smarta Brahman. They have to do everything properly, otherwise they get the result. They have fruitive motivation, fruitive intention. They want something back from their worship. They don't want bhakti. They want whatever the material things they want. So they have to be very careful. All those injunctions and instructions, specifically for these smartas, they have to be careful. Because you're playing around with Krishna. You come to worship Krishna and you want something back. Okay, I'll give it to you, but you got to be on your P's and Q's. You got to do everything perfect, because you're coming to me. As they surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. You're coming as a businessman, so you got to pay the price. Everything has to be there, otherwise you get some reaction. But for devotees, Krishna sees them as like their family, and they're trying to worship with devotion and love. They're not expecting anything back. So for the devotees, it's a little bit different. You take the Charanamrita, if one drop falls on the ground, you got to spend 7 births as a leper or something like that. But this is not applicable to the devotees. Not that the devotees neglects it. Yeah. Jagannath also. In front of Jagannath, apparently there's some lakhs of rupees. They're in the altar itself, or by the altar. Yeah, they are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No need for initiation or anything like that. When we had the Nrsimhadev installed, Bhavananda, he wanted a big Shalagrama Shila. So, but Bhaktivedanta Purna Swami Maharaj went to get the Shila. And he went to Gandaki river, where the Shalagrams are born in the river, the Gandaki. He went to that river, and he was looking for a Shalagram, nice, big size, so you can see properly in the Sringadev. And anyway, he was out there a few days. And then on the last day, he was trekking up the river, and then he thought, I'm not going to find the Shalagram now. I'll turn around and go back now. So then he turned around and he started coming back, and just after a few steps, that Shalagram Shila was sitting right on the path. This is where he had just, a few minutes before, he just walked across that path. And there the Shalagram Shila was, it wasn't in the water, it was sitting right on the path. He had just walked up that path. So he showed to Vishwambara Goswami, who was from Radharaman temple. He's an authority on shalagrams. Now he's left his body. So he said, look, this, you can see a whole picture on the back side of that Shalagram Shila. And it's a picture of Lord Nrsingadev killing Hiranyakashipu. And it's, you know that picture of Jadurani, famous picture? He's tearing. It's like that. Oh, the Hiranyakashipu is around the other side. You see his legs hanging down that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, picture. No, they're carved on there. It's a stone that's carved. It says there's brahmanas. They take birth as little worm, little kind of thing, and they chew it. They eat all the lakshanas. So there you get those nice chakras, all perfect signs. Some other shape of, especially Kurma, Nrsingadev, Varahadev, Matsya. They have, yeah. They chew it. Huh? Yeah. Someone told me, he was quite a serious person. He said that he was investigating, he was on the bank and he dug into the bank with it. And the clay there was kind of a reddish color, but he could see that there were some different chakras and things like that on it. It was still in the clay form, the soft. And he was telling me, it was his idea, but he said, it appears that those little worms and everything, they're shaping the whole shalagram in the mud, softer mud. Then it comes out and falls into the river, and maybe with some reaction with the sunlight and the water, then it becomes hard like a stone. He told me that he's quite serious and he worships Shalagram. They can do, yeah. They say that when you're going, you want the Shalagram, you meditate on that as you're going to Gandaki and chant the deity's mantra and meditate on the deity you want. And then, if you're lucky, you get the example given of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and he put his lota in the water and there was 12 shalagrams in his lota. So he threw it, put them back in, again he got some more water, and again the 12 shalagrams were there. So he figured that Krishna wants to stay, so he took all those 12 back to Vrindavan to worship. And yeah, then Maharaj had a dream that night after he got that Nrsinga Shila, and he saw that Shila, it opened up, and inside is a chakra and a piece of gold. They're famous for giving gold. Sometimes the local people, they break them and they put them on the fire to get the gold out. But yeah, this is a dream. It opened up and he saw it inside of the chakra. There's a story, should I tell it? The appearance of Shalagram, one of the stories. We're not getting any complaints. Yeah, there was Saraswati, Lakshmi, and Parvati Devi. And they were having a conversation that who is the most chaste woman in the universe? So they were deciding who they thought was most chaste. So then Narad Muni happened to come by. So they said, Naradji, in your opinion, who is the most chaste woman of the universe? Narad said, I think I know one prostitute who I consider to be the most chaste woman in the universe. Well, they were shocked. So they went back to their husband, and Saraswati said to Lord Brahma, you know what Narad Muni said? He said that he thinks that the prostitute is more chaste than even Lakshmi ji. So Lakshmi, she told Vishnu, do you know what Narad Muni said? A prostitute is more chaste than Sati. Sati means chaste woman of the universe. So Vishnu said, it's very interesting. But it must be something in it. My devotee, he wouldn't say that for no reason. I'll go and check him out, see what happens. So Vishnu, he come down to the world. But he took the form of a leper. He had leprosy with all sores on his body and things. So he went to this prostitute's house and he knocked on the door, and the maid came out and she said, yes, sir. She said, I want to be entertained by the madam of this house. Here is my fee. You please tell your mistress that I want to be entertained. So the servant went back and she said, Mataji, you take there's a man outside, he wants to be entertained by you. But I must tell you, he's got leprosy, sores and everything. The prostitute, really? Did he keep the money? Did he pay? Yeah, he gave it. Then if he gave his fee, then I have to be his husband for the day. That is my vow. He is my husband for the day. Okay, so show him in. So they brought him in, and they said, you sit down and we'll give you some food. And so she fed him very nicely. And then she said, and while he was eating, one of his fingers fell off because it was rotten by leprosy. It fell off onto the prasadam plate. So anyway, she said, you please go and take some rest. And after some time, I will come to entertain you. So Vishnu, the leper went to take rest, and then she cleaned up everything. She took the plate. She had to eat her husband's remnants of the plate was the prasad, and his finger was there also. So she had to eat, because he's my husband. I promised, I made a vow for the day he's my husband. I have to eat my husband's prasadam. So she ate the prasadam, and then she took her bath and put scents and made herself very, very beautiful, and she went to entertain the leper. And then the servant came running, Madam, that man, he's there, he's lying down, he's dead. He's on the floor, he's lying down dead. Oh my God, my husband is dead. Please, go to the funeral and make the arrangements to burn his body. I'm going to shave my head, I'm putting on white cloth, and I will have to enter into the fire, because my husband has just died, that's my duty. So she did all that, and she got the fire was blazing. She shaved her head, put white cloth on. So the fire went to the burning gat. She went to the fire, and the fire was blazing. She went into the fire, and boom, Vishnu appeared. He said, no, you don't have to take your life. I'm very, very pleased with your chastity. I don't know anyone who can match your chastity. Please ask me for a boon. She said, I won't. I asked for a boon that you will become my son. And so Vishnu said, okay, then I will take birth later in the Gandaki river. No, you will take birth in the Gandaki river, and I will take birth in your waters or in your womb as the Shalagram Shila. So in this way I will become your son. I'm born from the womb or the waters of the Gandaki. Vishnu, he manifested him. She became the Gandaki. He became Vishnu, her son. He was born in her water. Okay. A little bit late, yeah? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Abhiram Thakur ki jai, Tulsi Jaldan ki jai, Sambheda Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Go Premanandi, Hari Hari.